Good morning, Facebook. I hope you all are having a great day. I had set my alarm to go off and remind me, and I guess my clocks were off or something because my one clock was saying that it was like 10:58, and then the other clocks were saying that it was 11, so I apologize for a bit of a delay there. Happy Friday, TGIF. I have to tell you, I'm so darn excited that it's Friday. I just can't wait for the weekend, and not that the weekend doesn't have a lot going on too, but at least I don't have the weekly responsibilities. So thankful that you all are here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to give you guys some really great tips today. And if you're just joining me for the first time and you're wondering, who is this lady who likes opal earrings? I am Sarah Williams, Blended Raw Mama, and I have recently embarked on this health quest. I'm very passionate about a health condition that I have, which is a candida overgrowth, and I'm passionate about helping people and on their journey to wellness. So, again, if you're here for the first time, welcome. Today was not a makeup day, so you got me in all of my raw glory here, my raw and real glory. I hope that everybody is kind of gearing up for Christmas, gearing up for people to come in, and just thought it would be a perfect time to do a live on really what this is all about, and that's eating healthier. And in eating healthier, we've chosen a higher quality of food. So if you are, again, joining me for the first time, welcome. If you're watching the replay, welcome. Hope you guys can get some good tips from this. All right, let's get started. So as I was preparing for this live, I was just kind of thinking, what are the main objections to eating organic? And what I hear 9 times out of 10 is it's more expensive. Why do I want to spend, $4 on a pepper versus $1.50 on a pepper, like those bell peppers? And I'm like, great question. Awesome question. And so I'm going to go over what I feel are the main reasons why organic food is more expensive, and just kind of my research and just kind of my experience. And then I'm going to go over what I think are the top 5 ways of saving money on organic food. So hopefully if you're tuning in, you are really interested in knowing this, and hopefully that means that you are going to come away with some really great tips on how to save money and eat better. So I feel like one of the number one reasons that organic food actually costs more is because, there is a very high price to so that something is certifiably organic. Their annual inspection fee starts at $400, and it can range to $2,000 a year. So a lot of farms just don't want to pay the price for organic. They might have great operations. They might have they might not use chemicals, they might have like a good way of doing things, but they either can't afford or they don't want to pay that. They don't want to absorb that extra cost, which makes sense. And so a lot of the times when you talk with people, they say, this is what we do, or this is kind of get a chat with them and kind of see kind of how they do their practices. And then basically find out, they're close enough to organic. And a lot of times I'll do that, where if I'm kind of like iffy on it, I'll just chat with whoever is selling it, whether I'm at a market or where, basically finding out where they're getting it from, so I can just kind of do a little bit of my own research. And that's the number one, the overarching goal with any food. Just do your research. If you trust the company, if you trust the product, then you're going to be satisfied in the end. So that's the number one reason is that organic just costs more. It costs more to get that certification, to get that stamp that says, hey, I'm organic, I can do this. So, which is really awesome. I think the number 2 reason that organic food costs more is because they grow their crops naturally. So it makes sense that when you grow crops naturally, you're going to use more organic compost. So you're going to use organic compost, you're going to use animal manure, you're going to use those types of things. That's more expensive to ship. Unfortunately, conventional farmers, they use sewage sludge, and they use chemical fertilizers, and they use all kinds of things. And raise your hand if you don't want sewage sludge to be fertilizing your food. Me. I don't want that. I don't know that anybody really wants that. But conventional farmers cut corners, so they do things exactly that way. The third reason why organic food costs more is time is money. Time is money, and it takes longer to grow organic crops because they don't have the chemicals, they don't have the growth hormones, they don't have all of the different like extra stuff that the conventional farmers have. So it takes more time, and it makes sense. If you're gonna take something and you're gonna take the time to do it right, it's gonna take more time. If you're gonna do something and you're gonna cut corners, it's not gonna take as much time, and you're also gonna not have as good of quality of a product. So that's the third reason why organic costs more. The fourth reason is basically you substitute chemicals for labor. So instead of hiring more people to rotate the crops and do all the different things on the labor side of it, they have a chemical do that. They have a chemical do different things. And so I found this quote from the Organic Farming Foundation that says, "The organic price tag more closely reflects the true cost of growing the food, substituting labor and intensive management for chemicals, the health and environment costs of which are borne by society." So basically that's saying that the society and the people that are buying these products are taking its toll on us. We are the ones that are absorbing that cost when we don't want to be absorbing that cost, because food is expensive, period, whether it's organic or conventional. And so if I'm going to be buying more food and I'm going to be paying a higher price tag, I'm going to make sure that I'm buying organic. The last reason that I feel that organic costs more is that there's basically supply and demand. So as you know, organic has been more of a more recent thing, and we were so used to Cracker Barrel and all these different restaurants that use factory farming, which basically come from conventional farming. I mean, I grew up on that kind of thing. I mean, we all did, and then we realized maybe that's not the best thing, because now we're starting to have IBS, we're starting to have all of these what I call 21st century health problems. And if we kind of look at that, we can trace it back to our food. Autism, all these different things were not an issue until we started eating more processed food and more food that had been chemically altered. And so supply and demand. Organic farmland only accounts for 0.9% of the total farmland. And they produce less because, again, it takes more time, so they're going to be producing less, versus conventional can yield more crop because they have more farms and they have more and it takes less time because they are it takes more time, or the conventional takes less time because they're doing things chemically. So that's all the bad news as to why things cost more, but it makes total sense, and there's more reasons, but I just thought that these were the top ones. And so our solutions to this is, well, first of all, and this is not included in it, but by people knowing more about where their food comes from and buying more organic is going to drive that cost down. We've already seen organic prices drop significantly in the last 3 years. I know when things started to come on the market as organic about 3 years ago, I was a broke grad student and I could not afford organic. And so, of course, when, with the revelation of my health condition and knowing I had to buy organic, my husband and I, we had to take our budget, and we have $500 that we spend for our budget a month for 3 people. And that's a lot of money for a lot of people, and I totally get it, but basically realizing where you can cut corners is going to make that so much easier. And I have and basically I go on the high end because I add supplements and stuff into that too. But I mean, it gets to the fact where this becomes a necessity. So if people don't make it a necessity now, it eventually is going to become a necessity when you have so many health problems. You're forced to change your habits. So that's why you're here on this video, is to learn what to do preemptively to get those costs down. So my first recommendation for getting those costs down is to buy local as much as possible. So I know Amazon Fresh and all of these different places and stuff, fly stuff in, and that's great. Different grocery stores and whatnot. But buying local is always your best bet. So whether that is farmers markets, get to know, your closest farmers market, get to see, what they do, talk with the farmers. And again, if they don't say that they're certified organic, ask them what their practices are, ask them what they use for fertilizer, ask them if you could go to the farm and see what they use, and that kind of a thing. And the reason that I say be very careful with farmers markets and to do your research is because we live in the city and we went to a farmer's market and we found out that they were flying stuff in from Utah, which is great. I mean, we looked at the companies and they all checked out, but we don't want to buy from Utah. We live in Colorado. We want to buy in Colorado. Now, I understand if you can't get something or there's a product or something that they can't get and they're going to go to Utah, that's fine. But we want to buy local. We want to buy from Colorado. We want to support Colorado farming. And so buy from farmers markets. And when it's winter, you can't go to a farmer's market because farmer's markets prime seasons are about May to October, depending on where you live. And so if it's winter, like it is right now, December, and it was freezing here in Colorado, you cannot go to a farmer's market. So what the great thing to do is to buy in bulk. Like we would go to our farmer's market and we would get a gigantic thing. I don't know if you can see this, but it's about 3 times this big. We get for a box, and we could fill it for $20. You can't get organic produce for $20 for that gigantic box. There's no way. And so what we would do is we would buy in bulk, and we would that would last for a really long time, because what you can do is you can parboil things where you when you put them on the stove and you boil them partially, and then you can chop them up and do whatever you want and prep them and then freeze them. So you can do that with lots of things. You can do that with carrot, zucchini, and pepper, different things like that, different things that freeze differently. So you want to check the guidelines on that. But that's a huge way to save money. The other way to save money is we go to natural grocers, and I don't know if you have a natural grocers where you are, but if you don't have a natural grocers, check in, see what your local or organic market is. So if it's not called natural grocers, maybe it's called Moms or something like that. You have no idea what is out there until you look, and because organic is becoming more of a thing, depending on where you are, more than likely you can find at least some place. And so check your local markets and watch their ads. Watch their ads. I cannot stress that enough. Natural Grocers runs an ad every week, and they also use a point system, and I'll talk about that in a second. But watch their ads. So I'll look in their ads and I'll say, hey, onions are on sale, and I will buy up the onions while they're on sale, and I make sure that I follow the protocol by storing the onions in a cool, dark place. Onions like to be stored in like a newspaper, but I didn't have newspaper, so I just wrapped them in a paper towel. So that really worked really well. So the third thing is reward programs. So Natural Grocers has a reward program, and whether it's not the greatest reward program, and you have to, spend, quite a bit, in order to get points back, it's still a reward program, and every little dollar counts. So if you go into the store and you say, hey, this is what I want, and, I buy it, it adds up pretty quick. I mean, I think we spend $100 every time we go into Natural Grocers. And again, cutting corners by watching those ads, and also the reward programs. The fourth way, I save money by buying organic is I buy wholesale. And so what I mean by that is I either go to Costco, or I or if you don't have Costco near you, you can go to Sam's. I personally don't prefer Sam's because at least I think in our area, they don't have the greatest organic produce, but you might have a different opinion. So I buy wholesale. So my husband and I go into Costco. We know that we're using, spaghetti sauce. I don't really eat spaghetti sauce because it's inflammatory, but my husband and son love spaghetti. And so, we go in and we can get, 4 things of organic spaghetti sauce for $10 versus going into Natural Grocers and getting one single thing of sauce for $3. So going into Costco and checking out in your area, again, this is my area, this is what I do, but we go in and we buy our organic protein at Costco. We buy our organic meat and organic chicken, our organic beef and our organic chicken at Costco. We buy our organic ground turkey, all that kind of thing. And again, and then I'll do a different video on organic and grass fed, but in our area, it's not cost effective for us to be able to get organic and grass fed. So right now we just do organic because we can't do grass-fed. You do what you can. I mean, you're limited by what you can find, and you're also limited by your budget. And so, if the money's just not there, it's not there. You can only stretch it so far. So just give yourself grace and realize you're not going to get everything 100%. So the fifth reason, or the fifth way, I keep saying reason, the fifth way that I save money by buying organic is you have your Dirty Dozen and your Clean 15. And I'll go ahead and link down here, I'll link a graphic to what is the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. So you're going to save money by buying the Clean 15. These products are 15 products that are produce that don't have any issues really as far as conventional. There's not the potential for the chemicals and stuff to leach in because they either have a covering over it, or they're grown in such a way that you don't really have to worry about because they're not grown with pesticides. But your Dirty Dozen are the ones that you're going to want to focus on in organic. And I can confess that I've gotten in the supermarket and I've gotten, my Clean 15, and I've been like, oh, I should get that. It's organic. And I'm like, no, it's a Clean 15. You need to save money. Don't do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and link the Clean 15, which are the 15 top produce that are generally clean. And then your Dirty Dozen are the 12 that you always want to buy organic. Always, 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 always. So as far as conventional and as far as how many pesticides there are in it and stuff like that. So if you all don't have any questions, I'm just going to leave it open for a couple minutes to see if you guys have any questions. And right now I'm drinking my non-toxic Sprite, DIY non-toxic Sprite. Stay tuned. I'm going to post the recipe later on Instagram. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to either message me on here, or you can shoot me an email at blendedrawmama@gmail.com. My email is changing though, so pretty soon it will be changing. And I will provide that for you. So, all right, I love every one of you all. Go forth, fight your candida, buy organic, and use the tips. And tell me how you saved. If you have another way that you save, go ahead and leave a comment down below, or go ahead and shoot me a message, and I will take that into consideration, and I'll post it for people, and maybe I'll save the same way the next time I'm buying organic. All right, see ya.